Long ago, in a world that had grown corrupt and violent, humanity had strayed far from the path of kindness and wisdom. Greed, envy, and cruelty ran rampant over the land, and the cries of the innocent echoed into the sky. It was in this era, amidst shadow and sorrow, that one man stood apart. His name was Noah. Unlike the others, Noah walked with humility, integrity, and a deep respect for all living things. He listened, not just with his ears, but with his heart. One fateful day, as Noah went about his work, there came a sense, a stirring, a whisper within the breeze. It was a message from the Creator, who observed the suffering on earth with great sadness. Noah, the voice spoke solemn and clear, "I have seen the pain and destruction as wrought by humankind. The earth can bear it no longer. I must wash it clean, so life may begin anew. But you, Noah, have found favor in my eyes. Your goodness shall be the seed from which hope blooms again." The warning came with instruction like none Noah had ever heard. He was to build a great vessel, an ark, strong and wide enough to hold his family and pairs of every kind of animal upon the earth, from the smallest creeping insects to the tallest, proudest beasts. It was a massive task, unlike any he or his people had ever conceived. Noah did not question. He gathered his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and shared the solemn message. Along with his wife and their families, they began the task. Day by day, plank by heavy plank, they constructed the ark as instructed, 3 stories tall, sealed within and without with pitch, and wide enough to be a shelter not just for them, but for life's vast array. Word spread of what Noah was doing. Neighbors, friends, and strangers all came to jeer and question him. "What madness is this?" they laughed. "Building a boat in the middle of dry land?" But Noah, steadfast and sure, continued. He knew the gravity of what was coming, and he mourned for the world, even as he worked to save a piece of it. As the ark neared completion, the sky began to change. The air grew heavy and dark, filled with a sense of waiting. Then, the animals began to arrive, in pairs, called by a force that none could see but all could sense. Lions walked alongside lambs, doves fluttered above wolves, elephants and mice, insects and songbirds all walked the path to Noah. There was an order, a purpose in their movement, and Noah's family guided them inside, making space for every creature, large and small. With the last animal safely inside, Noah and his family entered the ark. The great door closed behind them. Some say by Noah's hand, others quietly by hand divine. All was still for a moment, a hush before the storm. Then, with a deep, rumbling roar, the sky split open and the rain fell. It rained as it never had before. Day after day, night after night, water poured from the heavens and surged up from the earth, flooding valleys and mountains alike. The world grew silent beneath the ceaseless waves, and all that was familiar faded beneath a restless, rolling sea. Inside the ark, Noah, his family, and the gathered animals huddled together. They were creatures of habit and earth, now afloat in an endless world of water. Each day, Noah rose to care for the animals, tending to the smallest needs with gentle hands. The ark creaked and swayed, but within its walls there was warmth and hope, a promise that life would begin again. The rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights, as the old world was washed clean. When at last the rain stopped and the clouds began to thin, only water remained, as far as the eye could see. The ark drifted aimlessly atop an endless ocean. Still, Noah waited, patient and faithful, trusting that the time to emerge would be made clear. At long last, the waters began to recede. The peaks of mountains appeared, poking through the silver expanse. Days turned into weeks, and the ark settled softly atop Mount Ararat, safe and still. Cautiously, Noah opened a window and released a raven to explore. The raven soared, circling over the water, but returned, for there was still no dry land upon which to rest. Days later, Noah sent out a dove, and this too returned, finding no haven. On a third attempt, the dove returned at evening with a small olive leaf gripped in its beak, a sign that the world was returning, that life would soon flourish anew. With hope renewed, Noah waited 7 more days, then sent forth the dove once more. This time, it did not return, finding shelter and sustenance somewhere in the fresh new world. At last, the call came. The earth, cleansed and renewed, beckoned them forth. The doors of the ark opened wide, and light poured in, shining upon a world washed clean and green, filled with promise. Animals emerged, blinking in the sunlight, stretching and scrambling, each finding its place in the new world. From that moment, life began again. Standing upon the earth, Noah built an altar of thanks, a tribute to the mercy and hope granted from above. A rainbow arched high across the sky, a bright, shimmering promise that never again would the world be destroyed by such a flood. It was a symbol of forgiveness and a pledge of peace, meant not just for Noah and his family, but for all the generations to come. As Noah and his family set to work rebuilding, planting and nurturing the earth, they carried within their hearts the memory of all that had passed and the knowledge that even in the darkest times, faith, compassion and respect for all life would be the foundation on which a new and brighter future could be built. The story of Noah's Ark stands through time as a testament, a reminder of renewal, resilience, and hope. In the echoes of storm and the silence that follows, we are called to remember the responsibility we hold, to care for our world, its creatures, and one another, cherishing the gift of life and the promise of tomorrow.